All right, give us a second here to make certain everything is working properly. It always takes a minute or so for everything to kick in, and we don't want to sound like we're talking into a coffee can either, so we want to make certain that everything is where it needs to be. If you're just tuning in, we are just getting going. It is about roughly 10 before 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday the 27th. Again, for tonight, little if anything really going on. All of the warnings and watches that we've had over the last couple of days have gone by the wayside. There's not much of anything else going on at this point, and we're not really expecting to see much of anything else happening. But again, into about a week's time, several days out, there is the potential that we may see the possibility of some winter weather coming our direction. So for right now, not much to be worried about, but we are going to be continuing to monitor things over the next several days and weeks. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onick. Email address at the bottom of the screen in the blue bar if you'd like to contact me directly on that. We're coming to you live on Tuesday night from Chattanooga, Tennessee. This is our live video weather blog, the opportunity for you to ask questions and again find out about what's going on with the weather in and around the Chattanooga area. Southeast Tennessee, Northeast Alabama, North Georgia, Western North Carolina, that is our primary area. If you have questions about stuff, we'll do our best to try to give you an idea as to what all is happening. But for right now, there's just not really too much going on. And that's okay after this last burst of winter weather moved on through. Now, there could be the potential of another winter storm about a week away, and we are right smack in the middle of severe weather season, the severe weather season for this particular area. So we'll show you a couple of ways you can get prepared. One thanks to the National Weather Service, another one thanks to a local amateur radio group will help you get ready for severe weather. We'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit. Questions, comments, anything like that, drop them into the stream chat function on Twitch and on YouTube, again on the chat function. Sign in to let us know where you're coming in from. And again, if you have any questions, we'll be monitoring the stream chat. We'll reply to you here, but if you type it in, we'll acknowledge you on that. Again, just to give you an idea as to what's going on and to give you an idea as to what may be happening with our forecast here. So off we go. Let's take a look and see what's happening. We'll do a quick check of our winter weather photograph session from brought to you by HEP Heating. I did not get the birding merit badge in Scouts. I have to say that in the interest of full disclosure. So this was a nice treat. Anytime I find out anything new, that's always a treat to learn about new and interesting things. So this was kind of neat to talk about. This is a bird called a snow bunting. And it's apparently very rare. The information that I looked up confirms the information from our viewer, Claire Randall from Appleton, who says that to see a bird like this in Tennessee and not in the mountains of North Carolina and the more mountainous areas of Tennessee is a very rare thing. These birds live up around the Arctic Circle, the Scottish Highlands, into and around northeastern Canada. So this is apparently kind of a rare sighting to have on there. So thank you very much, News 12 viewer Claire Randall from Appleton, for our HEP Heating weather window picture of the day. If you've got pictures, again, we would love to see more about what you are seeing out there. And the best way to do that is to either email us at pictures@wdef.com. Drop your pictures to our Facebook, X, or Instagram page, or just go to our weather website at wdef.com/photos, and yours could be the next HEP Heating weather window picture of the day. Downtown Chattanooga, the aquarium on Aquarium Way. Not too much traffic. A lot more traffic you're looking at here than what we saw last night when the temperatures were nearing about 10 degrees. It's not quite as chilly for tonight, but it is still going to be pretty cold out there for this evening as we look again for some of that cold air to stick around. Matter of fact, we barely made 40 degrees today, and that is 12 below our normal high temperature. 11 was the low, normal of 32, and that was 9 degrees above the record low, which was set back in 1940. So that gives you an idea as to just how chilly it was out there. No rain. We're behind for the month by about 3/4 of an inch, and for the year so far, for that matter, out there. Heading out the door into tomorrow, we are going to be seeing some fairly breezy conditions from time to time. So if you're going to be playing golf, definitely want to bundle up, because temperatures tomorrow maybe a few degrees warmer than what we have seen again for today, but it's not going to be much. So if you're heading out to be one of those intrepid souls on the golf course, if Jim Young is watching from Edmond, Oklahoma, one of my best friends from KU at our dormitory, who's now the golf master, golf advisor, whatever it is, at a fairly prestigious course in Edmond, Oklahoma. He's the expert on golf that I turn to, but hope he's doing all right out that direction. But golfing weather, that's up to you. I'm not a golf person. Never putt, yes. Out on the course, never been good at it. Tried it a few times, but just did not have the ability to try on that. For tonight, again, it's going to be pretty chilly out there. Let's take a look at the morning forecast for our 1% list scenic city dog walking forecast, and it will be fairly frigid, but temperatures will be some 20 degrees warmer than what they were this morning across parts of the area. So it is going to be frosty, no question about that. Nice selfie view. Thank you very much, Nugget from Ringgold. Sleep with her baby on a very warm, what looks to be a cushion of some sort. So that's a very good place to be. Thanks to everybody for sending in your pupper pictures. Please do so at our website at wdef.com/dogwalk. Taking a look out the window this evening. Again, it is dry and quiet. Northeasterly view from the EPB building in downtown, overlooking the Dome building and off to the northeast. Mostly clear skies. Kind of breezy southwesterly winds pushing the flags away. We are seeing, again, temperatures just above freezing. Not as cold as last night. We've got some very dry air in here, too. Dew point at about 17 or so. So looking at some pretty chilly numbers across much of the area. And going to be staying dry into the course of the next several days. We'll give you the setup here as soon as this graphic decides to load. This graphic takes a little while to get going because of the fact that there's just so much data on it. So it takes a little while to actually get going. What you're looking at here is the national view. We have a cold front pushing through the area and some moisture off the Gulf of Mexico off to the south and west. High pressure helping to escort that in. It's just high-level clouds. There's not much of anything else going on at this time. We'll see clouds, yes. Other precipitation with this front coming through. Doubtful we're really going to be looking at too much of anything at this time to really give us anything in the way of a lot of moisture. This is just not a moisture-rich scenario. No storm system down toward the Gulf of Mexico like we saw that last storm system come through, which is now over the limb into the North Atlantic and causing problems of that direction. For us, there just really isn't that much happening again for right now. Looking off to the west, we don't see any signs of anything really major happening. High pressure will be doing a pretty good job of pushing any storm systems well back up to the north of us. So we do have a stacked up couple of very active systems over the Pacific, the Gulf of Alaska, and into and around the North Pacific. But these systems are not expected to be giving us any trouble all the way over here. So there's really just not that much going on where we are. Now, our next storm system, about a week away, will be possibly an Alberta Clipper system from somewhere up here dropping down to the Plain States and affecting us maybe into next week. But again, that is a very long way away. So we're not seeing anything in the way of what we're looking at for right now in the way of any major storm systems moving our way. But that, again, is where we're going to be taking a look at the possible next storm system. Emphasis on the word possible right there. Susan Porsche, RD7BJ on YouTube. Welcome to the show. Thanks for dropping by. And yes, it is the Gulf of Mexico. As I've told many people before, we can name the waters out to the 12-mile limit, but we do not have the authority to change anything to quote-unquote the Gulf of America. And as an added bonus, and as I've pointed out to many people who object to me saying that, it has not been ratified by Congress. So until that happens, I'm calling it the Gulf of Mexico. A lot of other people are calling it the Gulf of Mexico, and there's no reason not to at this point. It's not unpatriotic. It's just the way of just saying what it is. And as of right now, again, we can do certain amounts of naming to the 12-mile, the Gulf of America 12-mile limit, possibly, but the entire thing as the Gulf of Mexico, we don't have jurisdiction over that, and we cannot internationally change names on that, nor are we seeming to, in any way, shape, or form with this administration, actually work with any other governments to do something like that. So it is the Gulf of Mexico, and until Congress decides to ratify anything, which right now it seems like they've got a lot of other things to handle. So that right there, as far as I'm concerned, and you can disagree with me all you want to me, it's going to remain the Gulf of Mexico, case closed. And again, it'll more than likely be going back to the Gulf of Mexico for a lot of other folks by the time some of this administration goes into the next election cycle. So I'm not impressed by this American chest beating going on over a body of water that has had this name for several hundred years. So it's a tempest in a teapot, or a storm in the Gulf, if you will. So for right now, thank you very much for saying so, but as of right now, that's what I'm going to continue to call it. And until legally it is changed that way by Congress, if they can do it, I'll wait and see for that. Along the same reasoning of why I don't say Winter Storm Xavier or Winter Storm Bob or Winter Storm Jack or something like that. That was invented by a certain weather cable network. It was not done by the National Weather Service, and until the National Weather Service adopts that practice, I will not be doing it. So again, that is just something that I choose to do as a professional meteorologist on there. Many people have contacted me and said, well, the winds are not out of the south, they are blowing from the north. They're actually going to the north, so that's what you should say. Well, that can be kind of confusing for people, so that, again, is not what I'm going to do until the National Weather Service, the governing official government weather body, decides to do something like that. And again, it hasn't been considered even or ratified or even discussed. So again, not going to be doing anything like that anytime soon. All right, off the soapbox for the time being. Cold front makes its way through as we go into tonight, and by tomorrow morning, there's not going to be much left of that. Again, this whole front is surrounded by dry air, so there's just not much of anything that can really help us in the way of moisture. Some clouds out there, and that snowbank under those cold temperatures will be sticking around, and that was what will be helping to keep us relatively chilly for the next couple of days. High pressure will do a very good job of, again, keeping us dry and quiet. There is a minor storm system that may help to stir up a little bit of moisture off to the west of us, and some of that may drift through into the weekend. Notice again some blue for snow, some green for rain, but it is very sparse, and none of the National Weather Service offices that cover the News 12 viewing area, Nashville, Huntsville, Peachtree City, and Morristown, have said anything about any moisture from this particular weak system coming through. So I don't see anything, any reason to put that in the forecast. And that's what I think we're going to wind up with, is not much of anything. So into the end of the week, clouds, yes, but that's about it. And then as we go into the weekend itself, that storm system, as it makes its way over here, that one is a possibility, according to some of the reports I've seen online, that we may be looking, if this crawls up the East Coast and really deepens, this could become the next what is called a bomb cyclone. That's not attempting to be dramatic or anything in the way of hyperbolic. That is a real system. A bomb cyclone is a cyclone like this system here that will develop and drop 24 millibars in 24 hours. That rapid deepening is what is known as the bomb cyclone that can really cause problems with forecasts, with shipping, with travel, outdoor activities, things like that. It's a real thing, so before anybody emails me about this, it was part of my studies at the University of Kansas. It was a study done by Sanders and Guyacum. If you want to look it up through the American Meteorological Society's journals page, you can find out all about bomb cyclones. So this may be one of them. It's showing, again, some possible snow showers, but if it's so dry around this coming in from around the continent, there's no mention of any moisture in the next 7 days through the weekend and beyond. So I don't see any reason at this point to really show anything in the forecasts. And again, until something changes, we'll keep it that way. So we don't really have much of anything going on here in the semi-near future that is going to give us anything in the way of major problems. No winter weather, nothing showing up again in the way of major cold snaps. It's going to be chilly, yes, but I don't think at this point in time that we're going to be seeing much of anything in the way of huge amounts of snow or anything else coming our direction. Pardon me for just 1 second here. Been fighting off a cold. Everybody here, excuse me, at News 12 is fighting off something these days, and I'm not alone in that respect. So got my voice back, and I'm actually feeling as human as possible, considering what I was feeling like last week at this time. All right, so for the next few days, we'll start off, again, temperatures pretty stable, below normal in the lower 40s, and then as we get into Saturday, the temperatures really start to drop back in the 20s for highs, teens for lows, still dry. We're not putting any moisture, no precipitation markers in here as we get into the late week, early weekend. Last few days of January into February starting on Sunday. And of course, Furry Fake Forecaster Day coming up on Monday. No problems at all being seen here. Again, temperatures will start to warm up, but somewhere in this area toward about a true American holiday, National Weather Person's Day, February 5th, that is where, again, on this side of the forecast, we're not putting anything over here just yet because it's so far away that there's just no certainty whatsoever. There are some signs that we may be looking at the potential of some winter weather, but anything over or around 50-50 certainty, just not showing it for right now. Again, possible Alberta Clipper system dropping through, but really just not much more than that. So keep an eye on the middle of next week. That is where we may be looking again somewhere over here, that potential somewhere of maybe getting another winter storm coming through. It doesn't look like anything for right now, but we will keep you updated on that. And until then, chilly but dry, and we're just not seeing anything in the way of moisture coming our way, so definitely some good news on that. Some very cold temperatures, though, so again, appreciating the absolute, complete, and total lack of mosquitoes. Concentrating on the pluses, that again I think would work out to be a very good sign out there. Mentioned this last night and on News 12 this evening. We are right in the middle of severe weather season, January through, again, about roughly April for this area of the country. This is prime time for severe weather, but we're stuck in a winter mode right now because of all the cold air. When you get that clash of air masses going on, that is where you can really have some nasty weather coming on through. And now, when, nothing is going on, that would be the perfect time to get ready for anything involving severe weather. This is just absolutely the best time when nothing is happening to focus on what may come our direction, being ready for it, knowing how to act. And the National Weather Service in Morristown has a great virtual Skywarn spotter training page. It's available on their website. If you'd like to know more, you can go to weather.gov/MRX. Great opportunity to learn more. You go online, you scroll through the course, You learn the information, you take a quiz, you pass the quiz, and then you register with the National Weather Service as a brand new spotter. Now remember, the more spotters we have, the more people we have watching severe weather from the ground. This is going to be safety multiplied for all of us. It's going to help people like me because reports come in from Skywarn spotters like you that can help me tell everybody else what you're looking at, where, which direction it's moving, things like that. This is a great opportunity to learn. I really recommend this for kids, especially kids who are nervous about severe weather. They may have phobias. They want to have questions answered, and this is one of the best ways that you can get those questions answered. I've seen kids as young as 6 or 7 take this course. I've seen kids that have been traumatized by severe weather take this course, and it really helps them out. So this is something I would really recommend. And again, you can take this on your own time frame at weather.gov/MRX if you would like to give this a try. Again, take the course, pass it, learn all you can on this. Now that again is the virtual Skywarn training. Because of the Department of Government Efficiency and a certain project with a certain year after its name, the National Weather Service has been gutted thanks to these two groups doing a very good job of making certain that they don't want the words climate change being talked about. So naturally, the best way to handle that is to gut a government agency that is there to help people stay safe. Somebody please explain it to me like I'm 5. Because of the fact that certain agencies cannot do as many Skywarn training sessions, there used to be dozens of them during different seasons of the year. Now we're down to just a handful. Because the National Weather Service offices do not have the personnel or the budget or the time to dedicate to this, thankfully, a local, again, very community-minded organization involved in amateur radio, the Chattanooga Amateur Radio Club, will be holding a Skywarn training session coming up this coming Saturday, the 31st, 10 a.m. Eastern at the Harrison Community Center in Harrison, Tennessee. And this is one of, again, just a handful of Skywarn training sessions around the area. Yes, I am a ham radio operator. Love being a ham radio operator. I got my license 25 years ago this February, and my one regret in getting my license was that I should have gotten it much sooner when I was younger so I could have enjoyed the hobby for a longer period of time. I really recommend it. You get to use some pretty neat technology. There are people in the amateur radio clubs that are called, nicknamed Elmers. Those are the people who can help the younger generations learn all about things that they need to know about frequencies, about electrical safety, about the law, about communications practices, about learning how to get your license and the important information on there. So please consider becoming a Skywarn spotter. And while you're here at Chattanooga Amateur Radio Club for the Skywarn, ask them about becoming an amateur radio operator. It's a great opportunity to ask questions and to get your license. I believe the fee from the FCC is now up to $15 to get a license for a 10-year period. You do not have to know Morse code anymore. A lot of amateur radio operators like to know it so that they have that under their belt, so to speak. One more way of learning about communication. That, again, is one of the best things that you can learn out there amongst all of that. So while you're there, it is free. But please go to their website to register, again, just out of courtesy's sake, at w4am.net, whiskey4alphamike.net, international phonetics alphabet there. That helps to, again, diminish confusion when spelling things out. So that's another thing that you learn here. And thanks very much to the Chattanooga Amateur Radio Club for doing something like this and for letting me know so I can let everybody else know about what is going on. That is a really great opportunity. Now, if you can't make that meeting, the National Weather Service in Morristown, again, covers this area, will be holding their own Skywarn training session. And this is great because sometimes you can't make one meeting. So if you can go to another one that's being held, that opportunity is sitting in front of you here. About a month after the one I just told you about, the National Weather Service in Morristown will conduct a Skywarn training session Monday, February 26th, 6 p.m. Eastern, exact same place at the Harrison Community Center in Harrison, Tennessee. Again, it is totally free. It's paid for by your tax dollars and my tax dollars. So if you'd like to know more, please go to weather.gov/MRX. Again, sign up for that, totally free, but to get a head count, if you have too many people coming to the meeting and you have to turn people away, it only makes sense to be able to have another meeting down the line to be able to tell people that, hey, if you're that interested in Skywarn and helping your community out, we'll have another meeting. No problem at all, but you have to let them know. So please, again, be courteous and go to this website to let them know more about what you are going to be seeing there. Also, while we're at it, again, something to take a look at from Topeka, Kansas, my hometown, 1966, June 8th, monster tornado marching toward the capital city. Part of my family history right there. If you go to my website, you can hear my podcast of me talking to my mom, Carolyn, who had to drive across the path of this thing to get home. This was about 2 years before I was born, so a good opportunity to learn more there. But the reason, excuse me, that I have this background is to draw your attention to the fact that if you don't have one of these, being in severe weather season, this weather radio grants you access to their information over the airwaves. Every school, every nursing home, every business, every place of worship, every house and mobile home and apartment building should have one of these radios. That's as simple as it gets right there. If you don't have one, get one. If you've got one and would like to know more about programming it, please go to our website at wdef.com/weather. And we'll help you get ready for it. These are not really just radio receivers anymore. They're kind of like computers with a radio attached. So if you don't want to be bothered by warnings for another county, you don't have to be. You can filter that out. The codes that come through the airwaves are picked up by the antenna, processed by the computer, and then if there's a warning for, if you want to be know about Hamilton County, great. If you don't want to know about Bradley County or any other county nearby, you don't have to. And all you have to do is program that in to the radio. And that's very cool to do. We weren't able to do that back in the day when we just had weather radios taking place. So again, we are going to keep pushing this. If you have the opportunity, you can get them at department stores, Walmart, anything in the way of there's a Circuit City left over, any place that sells electronics, your local hardware store, your local grocery store may have these available. $40-50 with a 9-volt backup battery included. Great opportunity again to have this available. So please, with a severe weather season going on, get one of these radios. They could be a lifesaver. So again, please make certain that you've got the opportunity to pick one of these things up. All right, haven't done this in a while, so I want to make certain that we have this available at 3.79. The month of January can be a wet one, but the month of March is the wettest month for Chattanooga. So at just over 3 3/4 inches of rainfall, which one of these was the rainiest January? 2019, 2009, 1999, or 1989? The correct answer was 2009, but about 50% of the votes went to 2019, but the correct answer, again, was 2009. If you'd like to participate in our polls, please go to our website, wdef.com/vote now. Use the QR code on the screen to get there. And again, if there's any businesses out there that would like to be a sponsor for this page, give our sales department a call. We currently have no sponsor on here. Used to be Roof Quotes, but if you would like to be our new sponsor, please give us a call in the sales department, and we will add that to you if we can come to an agreement on payment, price, and all that other stuff. I'm a meteorologist. I'm not a sales expert, so the best thing to do would be to talk to them about stuff like that. So give us a call and let us know about that. Okay, so getting into, let's say, lunchtime tomorrow, temperatures will be chilly, but they will be warming up into the 40s around lunchtime tomorrow. So a great opportunity to learn more. Chip will have your forecast coming up on the noon show, also on the morning show. So definitely want to stay tuned again for more on his forecast into the rest of the day. At least it'll be dry. Not seeing much of anything out there in the way of major amounts of problems. I think that's pretty much it for tonight. We've covered all the basics. There are no watches. There are no warnings in effect out there for right now. So again, decently quiet, and again, hopefully staying that way. So for right now, that should do it for our weather overtime segment. Thanks to everybody for stopping by and for checking us out on Twitch and YouTube. Appreciate everybody sticking around and keeping an eye on things and tuning in. Spread the word around about this weather overtime blog. We try to do it as often as we can during the week. Not so much on the weekends unless there's something going on out there. But again, if there's something you would like us to cover on here, more satellite, more radar, more worldwide weather, more this, less that, that's great. But unfortunately, I can't help you unless you tell me. So again, at the bottom of the screen, aonic@wdef.com. Would love to hear more from you. So drop us a line. Let us know that you're enjoying this, or again, complain about it if you have to, and we'll try to do what we can to fix it if at all possible. But again, this is all about weather. We'd like to be able to give you an idea as to what's going on, why, how, and where. So again, please give us an update, and thank you very much for tuning in for tonight. That should do it. Chip will be in the morning with an update starting at 5 a.m. Eastern, so stick around for that. And again, more on our forecast available at our website at wdef.com/weather. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onek. Thanks for joining us for Tuesday evening's edition of Weather Overtime, and we'll be back with more again coming up Wednesday evening, so stick around for more with News 12 on air and online.